How are you feeling now? You've had, I know it's not been a lot of minutes, but it's a couple games under your belt doing the whole routine again.
It's good. I mean, I had been warming up for a little bit, so I kind of got used to that. And everything within my recovery has been like one step at a time, feel really good with one thing and then move on to the next. So it's definitely slow, but yeah, it's good.
What were the emotions like playing here the last game and getting the fans were really excited to see you come on that court?
Yeah, it was awesome. The fans here have been like so supportive, and just every time I see someone, oh, when are you coming back? Like, we miss you. So that was really cool to be able to do it here, and my family was here, and my sister was here. My parents did end up getting a last-minute flight to Butler, but for me to have extended family here and do it in front of our fans here was special.
At Butler, was it really just Gino looked down the bench and asked you if you wanted to play and you went in? Is that how easy it was?
Well, we had conversations. I had gotten cleared like a couple of days before that, so it was still kind of like, it's quick turnaround. Like, practice is not like a game, so he was like, we'll see how you feel, and it's also still always up to how I feel, so it was still see how you feel Friday. And then when the game came, I felt good in shoot around, and then he was like, so you want to play? And I was like, yeah.
He said that throughout all the conversations that you two had, that you always were like, I'm gonna do whatever I can to come back. There was no kind of deviation from that. So I guess, is that how you describe just your determination to make sure you could get back on the court?
Yeah, I would say I always was set on coming back, but I'm not gonna lie, there were definitely times, especially last year, where I didn't know if it would actually happen, but once I think I started like feeling better and started getting on the court, then that's when I was really like, okay, I could really actually come back. And I always told them I didn't want to come back just to say I did it. Like, I wanted to actually come back. So it's still a process, and obviously I still have a long way to go, but actually being able to be on the court was a good first step.
How do you get through that? How do you get through that? I mean, that's a lot on you emotionally to deal with the uncertainty of everything.
Yeah, it's hard, but I think I'm really lucky that we do have so much support here. And, my family, my doctors here, doctors I worked with outside of UConn, the coaches, the staff, my teammates. I think that it's helped me that I was telling my Paige and them the other day, like, it's been really helpful. Like, even when I didn't know if I would come back, like, I never felt like they didn't think I could come back. So I think that's always been really helpful, is just to have their support, and I knew that like they believed in me, even if it wasn't always looking that way at the time.
What was the moment like for you actually getting cleared, finding out that you were gonna be able to play games this season?
It was very emotional. I think I kind of try to, with everything, with all my injuries, or all my steps in this recovery, it's always kind of been like up in the air. So I kind of, throughout the whole thing over the last years now, I've tried to not get too high and too low on things, because if I feel good, something could happen the next day, or I don't feel great and then the next day could be a great day. So I kind of would always try to just be like, okay, the next step. But this one, I definitely was happy, and like it just felt good, because like I said, I didn't know necessarily if this would happen, and it's taken a lot of hard work and a lot of mentally it's been hard. So this one felt good.
Going back to Alexa's question, when was that turning point where you realized this was a possibility, that you could be cleared and that you could come back?
I think I went through, when I came back this summer, after doing rehab, and that's when I really started to feel better, like off the court. And I would say like that's, doing all the rehab and stepping away and all that kind of stuff helped me to really get like my life back off of basketball. So I was happy with that. And then once I got back to school and started actually working out and like moving, then I was like, okay, like I think I could really do this again. But then there definitely was a little stretch where once I started because first I was just doing workouts, no contact. I had the jersey, nobody would touch me. Like, it was very much be careful. Like, she's out there, but she's not really out there. And then once I kind of got the okay to, like, they can hit you and you can play contact, it kind of did take a little plateau, just because that's like a huge step. And so then once I started getting more comfortable with that, then I was like, okay, then I feel like I actually could, and talk to the coaches, and they're still like, okay, like, be careful. It's not just like, go ahead. But then I started to actually feel better.
Caroline, you didn't wear a headband before, like your first couple of seasons. Does the headband you wear now Is it for anything? Does it help you or anything?
Yeah, it's honestly, it's kind of more just for me to feel a little safer out there. Yes, it helps. Like, it is padded, so it does help. It's better than just having nothing. But it's hard, like, with an injury like this, there's not really much you can do to kind of help when you're out there. So it's both, but it kind of just helps me mentally for right now. I don't plan on wearing it forever.
Have you had a point in practice or anything where you could dive for a loose ball or something like that, where you might be putting yourself in danger? And have you been hesitant at all, or have you been, pretty much what you've been your whole life?
I would say I'm still kind of getting back to that. I think that's going to happen, like, just as time goes and being in those environments. But I definitely, like, I was telling one of our coaches the other day, Tanya, like, I got, like, an elbow to the head, like, nothing crazy, but 2 years ago I would have been out for a couple weeks at least. So, and she was like, I didn't even notice. And so that was kind of like a big, like, sigh of relief for me that, like, I was fine and I could, continue.
You've been described as like a second coach for this season. Just, I mean, what kind of kept you engaged with the team, engaged with basketball as you were going through this whole process?
I think that, like, throughout everything, basketball has always kind of been like an escape from anything that people deal with. So I think I kind of tried to still use that. And I knew, especially last year and at the beginning of this year, like, I wanted to still have an impact on the team, and I knew, like, kind of as an upperclassman, I have been there, like, I can see things differently. So to try to do whatever I could to, stay involved. And it is honestly like if you feel like you're actually helping, it's a distraction to, kind of what you're dealing with. So I think that was something that kind of kept me going, was trying to still have an impact and be there for them. And I know it's hard, like, a lot of them young guys are playing a lot of minutes, and it's, I've been there, like, at the times where, it's a long season and people are frustrated. And so just to be someone else, and they don't always have the coaches, breathing down their neck, they can have me to kind of go to. Like, I pride myself on being there for them.
Gino said you're one of the best teammates that he's had here. What's so special about this place to you and your teammates that have you so important to be a part of this? And that you could have gone a lot of different ways with everything you've gone through.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing, just having, like, there's two different ways you can go with this. Like, you can feel sorry for yourself and kind of step away from the game completely, and it's too hard to be involved in it. And especially at the time when I didn't know kind of what my future looked like in basketball, I could have just, like, stepped away. And sometimes there were days where that was easier, but I think what helped me was my teammates have always been there for me. They've always supported me. They've always, taken care of me when I've been down. So I wanted to be able to do my part and be able to still be a part of the team and have a role. And I do strongly believe a part of the team, being a good part of the team is not just what you do on the court. So I wanted to, be there for them and kind of support them and help them through it, be someone that they can go to.
You're not participating in senior day tomorrow. Does that mean you're planning to be back here next year?
That's the plan, yeah.
Do you have set goals for this year on the basketball court? Was this just the rest of the way, or was this just about getting back out at all?
I think a little bit of both. I think, like I said, I'm trying to celebrate the little things, and so trying to celebrate just actually being back on the court. But I definitely, it's a small process. Like, I definitely have, like, a lot of ways to go and, like, be more comfortable, but I definitely wanted to, I get cleared, so I wanted to, keep moving forward. But I have a long way to go, and just kind of using this year to get ready to be fully ready to go next year.
How special is it to be back on the court with, players like AZ and Paige and just that, like, senior group that, may or may not be moving on, but you're getting those last games with them now? Yeah,
that was another thing too. Like, I think AZ, Paige, Aubrey, and I, like, we've been through a lot together. All of us individually have had our share of injuries and setbacks. So to be able to, get cleared for however many games, and a lot of people are like, oh, there's not many games, and whatever I can get, like, that's just has meant the world to me, because I didn't know if I would get any of them. So this last few are have meant a lot. So to be able to finish the season with them and be there for each other as always. That's good.
A lot of feels going into tomorrow just to see them, going through those senior day steps and everything. Or
Yeah, well, it is Paige and Aubrey's second one, so it's a little like, but
before.
yeah, but yeah, definitely emotional. They've obviously been through a lot here. They've been there for me through a lot. I haven't really thought about it because obviously I don't know UConn without them, so it's definitely going to be weird to think about that. But I just keep telling Izzy she's got to stay.
You spent a lot of time in exam rooms and dealing with medical person. Has that shaped you at all? Has that changed you at all? Maybe you want to do something like that. Want to help people down the road like they've helped you.
Yeah, I think it's definitely given me a different perspective on just concussions and head injuries in general, and just the mental health side of it. Obviously, everybody tells you, oh, concussions are serious, and take care of your mental health through it, but you never really realize how serious it can get until it's actually you, and you think, oh, that'll never be me, that'll never happen to me. So having been there, I had people reach out to me that had gone through it, or didn't get the chance to come back, or did get the chance to come back, and just hearing from them and being able to be someone that can help anyone else that's going through something like that. Whereas now, anyone gets a concussion, I'm always the first one, are you okay? Do you need this? So I think definitely I would want to do something to give back to people that are struggling with similar things that I was.
Especially with women's sports, there's a lot of focus with football, but maybe not as much on the women's side.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely not talked about as much as you would think. I mean, going into it, I really didn't know a lot about it before my first one, and then I think I know a little too much now. But yeah, it's really not talked about as much, and there's not a clear recovery. Everyone kind of does it differently. I know a lot of people that unfortunately met people that are kind of going through the same thing, and people do a lot of different things. So it kind of but it also is depending on what works for you. So I was talking to somebody who's struggled the same way, and something that she did, I was like, oh yeah, that didn't really do much for me. So it kind of just depends on yourself. So that's why I am lucky that I have, people here that they know me really well, and Janelle, our athletic trainer, knows me really well now. So she's helped me a lot and be able to, adjust things for what works for me.
Now that you're back fully, how's your day-to-day routine just different now that you can incorporate more basketball and can incorporate more contact?
Yeah, I mean, just being able to practice fully has been good. For a while I was constantly in and out, which is frustrating when you're trying to come back and you're trying to, solidify yourself and just kind of get back into the flow of it, and you never know if you're in or out. But I would say, I still kind of go through a lot of the same stuff. I still have rehab stuff that I do. I still, kind of have to take care of myself in a different way than I had to before. So I think, but yeah, it's kind of become my routine now. So I think that is kind of just what happens. I mean, people do that with any injury, so it's just a different one.